Why are you going from one bad game to another bad game? That is the title that this video should have. Now, I think it's kind of unfair to call Old School RuneScape bad game, but I think it's fair to call it an old game. It's like, I don't know how people play Old School RuneScape, man. I'll just give you an example. Like OSRS gameplay. Even end game, you know, end game. Right? First of all, unless you played it before where your brain already adjusted to the graphics, this game looks like shit. Okay? Let's do PvP. Let's do PvP. What's wrong about PvP? And you don't care about that? Oh my god, man. Can I just get gameplay? Like, no one even plays this game to make videos. Like, holy fuck, man. Maxing a main.
So after 17...
Whatever, right? Like, it's great, yeah, there's a lot of players, but let's be real, most of the time, these are probably bots. Most of the time, this is your experience. You're alone. Calling it an MMORPG, first of all, is fucking retarded. I even had, like, in the comments, so I made this video because I saw Asmongold responded to it. And I even made a comment where it's like, I have no idea how people play RuneScape, but I can 100% agree Shadowlands was the final straw, yada yada yada. And then it's like, give OSRS a go and you'll see, play it at your own pace. If you play it once per week or month, any progress won't be devalued. Just play Guild Wars 2 then. Just play Guild Wars 2. Just play Skyrim then. Okay? Have you ever seen the complexities of high-level PvM and PvP? Bro, complexities, bro. Like, talk to me about complexities. This is the complexity. Now, I have seen that you are switching weapons during the battle. Whoa, you know, fucking complexity, bro. This is what I want in complexity, okay? This is what I want in complexity. Now, technically, can you do it without getting hit? Yes, but it requires skill, man. Requires skill. If you want to beat her in one shot, you know, like do a lot of damage, requires a build, right? This is what I'm looking for in an MMORPG. Unfortunately, Elden Ring is not an MMORPG. But if I want an MMORPG, this is the type of fights I want in there. Okay? This is complexity. Okay? This is entertainment. Fucking complexity here, bro? Like, what are we talking about? This is complex? Oh, move back, move back, move back. Move back. Switch weapon. Move back. Go back in. Oh, the complexity, bro. Get the fuck out of here. Anyways, let's see what this video is about. I have so many comments. I quit World of Warcraft in Shadowlands. I did quit in Shadowlands. I gave Dragonflight a try because I still had like a BNet balance. I was like, fuck it, I'll try it. I quit within 4 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, something like that. Like I got to M+, I started doing M+ 15s and then like on the second week, and like whenever Mythic Plus released, it's the same fucking garbage, and the dungeon design was still dog shit, so I just gave up. Okay. OSRS, I'm never even gonna try this game. The graphics look like dog shit. Okay, most of the gameplay is solo anyways. Then it's like, why would I play a solo game that just has a bunch of random people in it, but it looks like fucking dog shit? Okay, it's like the same. I don't understand why people play Minecraft. It looks like shit, bro.
Why are there so many World of Warcraft players switching to old school RuneScape?
So many is actually a very big overstatement. You have the streamers that are bored as fuck from classic WoW. There's nothing to do in retail because it's just fucking Mythic Plus grinding. There's no content for streaming in there unless you do PvP, and even PvP is kind of like no one cares. Like no one really cares about PvP. Okay, so you play classic, but then classic is also very boring. Yeah, they released Season of Discovery, which was really fucking boring as well. It was kind of new, so it brought some excitement, but it was fucking boring, okay? It's the same shit all over again. They keep releasing it, yada yada yada. So many people switch to old school RuneScape. The only people who are switching to old school RuneScape are people who already played old school RuneScape, and they're just waiting for the WoW to release something more to do, or they are streamers who have never played, right, or like didn't really play, and they just wanna siphon some of those views. Okay, they have like absolutely no interest in the game itself. They need content. Okay, and OSRS, for what it's worth, has a very loyal following, and this is similar to what happened with Final Fantasy 14. Okay, you had a very loyal player base that was like fucking loving the game, and they couldn't wait for somebody who had a lot of views to come into their game and pre-advertise, and then they made a huge deal out of it. Okay, how did that turn out for Final Fantasy 14? Well, we got Dawn Trail. So, I still, honestly, for what it's worth, I still prefer pretty much every aspect of Final Fantasy 14 to World of Warcraft. The only thing that Final Fantasy 14 is missing, it doesn't have stuff like Mythic Dungeons. Like Mythic Plus, basically. That's the only thing. I understand why. I think it's going to be very toxic if it did. However, Mythic Plus, for what it's worth, if the dungeons were designed properly, is actually pretty fun. Not enough for me to play WoW for it, but it's pretty fun.
You must have noticed them, right? Lurking around the Grand Exchange, trying to parse on a goblin, wondering where their ability bars are, and asking how Jagex is managing to update the game rather than re-releasing the same exact content over and over and over again. I sure did, because I'm one of those WoW players.
Why? This is like not that hard to fucking explain. Re-releasing the game is probably the hardest things to explain. Why are you re-releasing the game? Are you retarded? Just fucking add stuff. It's a game. It's a game that is supposed to be an MMORPG. Increase the fucking world. I understand that Classic WoW released and had a lot of like open world shit. But honestly, there really isn't much to do in Classic WoW. Okay? Really isn't much to do in Classic WoW. It's like fucking expand on it. By the way, you can easily throw all of the expansions that WoW has created into Classic WoW. But they will never do that. Why? Because they treat it as a business, and it's going to be too much of a risk, and they're not, like, it's going to take a lot of work, and they don't know if it's gonna be rewarded. So it's too much of a risk. It is a business. Okay, they don't treat it like a game where we just want to create stuff to like explore for people to have fun in this game. They don't want that. They want a business. OSRS maybe is more of a game. Still a shitty game though.
A year and a half ago, after around half a month of MMO soul searching, I found old school RuneScape. I had quit WoW after Mythic raiding for around a decade for various reasons. I was sick of the short-form, seasonal ethos of the game, devaluing any and all of my progression, sick of the only valuable content being instanced, bored of the binary itemization and samey loot, and disheartened by Blizzard's complacency with the classic incarnation of the game. Clearly, I wasn't the only one. Mad Season, Guzu.
Look at that. Look at that. Just a seasonal trend like Final Fantasy 14. I just said it. Both have their niche and are great games in their own right. But, I mean, he just wants to be nice. I'm not gonna be nice. I don't care about being nice, man. Like, these people are bored. That's all it is. They're bored. They need views, so they need to do something new. Like, that's really all it is.
Caridus, Savix, and more have since begun their first steps into this beloved, curated sandbox. What about RuneScape seems to have translated for the World of Warcraft player?
Nothing. There's nothing better to do. Guild Wars 2 is a very different game to World of Warcraft, okay? It's just not... I feel like it just doesn't feel the same for a World of Warcraft player, okay? The combat is extremely different as well. It's not... I think you have to pay more attention in Guild Wars 2, in especially like specific classes. You have to pay way more attention for combat. Final Fantasy 14 practically locked behind story, so most people don't want to get into it. It's like spending many hours, 100 hours per expansion basically, just to like get through to go to the good stuff. And then again, the good stuff is not very like streamable. It's like it's not repeatable and all that stuff. Like the only ones who's like, as far as I know, popular on Final Fantasy 14 is Xeno, and because the every other week he's talking about drama and like he's like, he's kind of funny, right? But in terms of like what he does in the game, I don't think it's very interesting. Okay, there is really nothing to stream in Final Fantasy 14. It's a very non-streamable game. Classic WoW, for what it's worth, I mean, Classic WoW wasn't really streamable. Hardcore Classic WoW was streamable only because people were waiting for the moment the person dies. That was why it was streamable. Okay, OSRS is streamable early on because these people are brand new. It might be interesting, and all of the OSRS sycophants are going to go into their stream and start telling them how to play the game.
And why? First, we must acknowledge where these WoW creators come from. Unlike myself, most of them are classic WoW players, an old school 2004 incarnation of World of Warcraft, much
All of them are actually retail players who got sick of retail, started playing Classic, they have nothing to do in Classic, and now they are going to try OSRS. They are still technically retail players, it's just that retail is just not doing as good, so they shifted to like their second best option. Now they're shifting to third or fourth best option.
like old school RuneScape is of RuneScape. Unlike OSRS, though, this version of World of Warcraft is following the timeline of WoW itself. Blizzard has been updating Classic WoW every few months with new patches and eventually the very same expansions that released years ago. The initial release in 2018.
Yeah, that's not very interesting. Again, for most people, World of Warcraft ended with Wrath of the Lich King. Okay, not actually. Yeah, I think it's fair to say most people. Okay, they don't care about Cataclysm and Beyond. Okay, like if you want to play Cataclysm Beyond, just play retail because that's pretty much like where the world is right now, anyways. So
18 is now entering the Mists of Pandaria expansion and resembles Retail WoW, the modern game, much more than it does Classic WoW or Vanilla WoW, the version from 2004. It's interesting to imagine a version of old school RuneScape that just kind of began releasing all the same updates, eventually ruining the game for the very same players that returned to it because it lacked those updates. Blizzard understood and saw this as the player base continued to shrink. Therefore, they opted for the seasonal servers that remixed the standard classic vanilla WoW experience.
yeah, let's not do what the player base wants us to do. Let's just fucking keep re-releasing it because re-releasing it costs us zero fucking money, but it keeps the subscription going. It's a business, it's not a game.
The Season of Mastery, and eventually the Season of Discovery. These year-long servers run down the line of all the same patches that were released between 2004 and 2006, with some updates. The latter, Season of Discovery, or SOD, introduced runes and granted all kinds of player power in the form of new abilities and many, many old ones from future expansions, as well as reworked some of the raids and even added one new raid toward the end. It was an interesting experiment. Finally, Blizzard released the Classic Anniversary servers, so just Vanilla Classic, again, for a second, or some would argue, fourth time. That's the first point to take note of. These creators love WoW. Even I, to a certain extent, still do as well, especially Classic, a version of the game that I think is most tangibly an MMORPG. It's wonderful, yet regardless of your love for it, anything exceptional becomes dry over time, especially when not allowed to exist in our mind. Being fed the same thing, as great as it may be, over and over again doesn't foster a larger community, it pushes those sick of it away. And the amount becoming sick only increases in time. The repeated cycles of Classic aren't getting any fresher, and next time Blizzard relaunches Classic servers, chances are they'll see even less popularity. Similarly, Blizzard has—
I 100% agree with everything you just said. Yes, it is very not interesting to redo the whole thing. The only ones who enjoy it are the sycophants, and the ones who are leaving are the ones who are just tired of the shit. But those who are leaving and tired of the shit, they're just tired for like the one season. They'll come back in 2 seasons or so. Why? Because it's like, oh, you know what? I miss WoW. I miss playing WoW. It was nice playing WoW. It's familiar. It's comfortable. It's not intense. Like, it's like, you know how like you try to learn something new, or like even just play a new genre of game, and you're like really bad at it because like you're just like your brain is just not adapted to it. The way you're clicking button is like not the way that you're used to. Mouse movement or mouse sensitivity is not the way you're used to it. The UI is different, and it's like all these things that like kind of like annoy you, right? And it's like learning this mechanic in the game and just doesn't feel comfortable. Like, so a lot of people would avoid it. They'll just go to the comfortable. What's comfortable? Well, I haven't played WoW in like a year or so.
Floated the idea of a Classic Plus. This has been a long-running desire from the player base. Instead of re-releasing the same content, why not add truly new content to the game? In many ways, SOD was experimenting in that regard. Sadly, I'm a bit concerned with this. First, Blizzard's survey that introduced this idea.
SOD was not what the player base wanted. They wanted the unreleased content of TBC, the unreleased content of Classic. They wanted Mount Hyjal in Classic as it was planned. They wanted Karazhan Crypts as it was planned. That's all they really wanted. They wanted literally an alternate universe, right? An alternate timeline where the expansion didn't happen, but you keep adding the expansion as a horizontal, overall kind of horizontal progression into the world. That it doesn't cannibalize itself, right? The difference between doing Molten Core and BRD and fucking ICC is not 2,000 item level gear difference, okay? That it's like maybe 5 or 10, right? Or maybe each one of them is giving you specific items to build your character in a better way, right? That's what people want. They didn't want, I mean, they're okay with it, but they didn't want seasonal mastery to turn classic WoW into more retail version. They just want more of the world that they're already enjoying, add shit to it, okay? Don't make it into retail.
Was filled with nothing even remotely interesting systemically. It had a whole host of quality of life features such as account-wide collections and graphical improvements. Essentially, they were pitching retail WoW features alongside what Blizzard does most confidently: instanced content, new raids, dungeons, and so on. I suppose that's what people want, but I also think that this will kill the game down the line. You can add new skills, new classes, however, disregarding the architecture that makes most of these things function is an issue. It may work well for retail, but that's because the modern version of WoW is competitive and singular in its vision. It has an exceptional combat system that is the sole point of interaction with the rest of the game. By comparison, Classic WoW is emergent. It wouldn't be far-fetched to say that it is defined by its leveling experience more so than its end game. Because
I don't know. I find both. I find the leveling experience in Classic to be the most boring fucking piece of shit I've ever played. I got to 26 and I just quit and never looked back. I wasn't even like unhappy with my character. I was just like, I don't want to do this again. This is such a fucking chore. Leveling is a fucking nightmare. It is so fucking boring in Classic WoW. The only thing that even got me to 26, I was like, you know what? I just want to go one shot the bosses. Because there's also a fucking joke. Right? Maybe I'll do these like dungeons as they were intended. That would be interesting. And that wasn't interesting. We did, what's it called? Shadowfang Keep. Yeah, I think it was Shadowfang Keep. Bro, fucking joke, man. A fucking joke. Oh my god. We even had 2 people die and it was a fucking joke. Like, it's just a boring game. And it's not that it's, again, if this is like the first time you play it, I can understand you liking it. But as someone who's been there and done that, it is so fucking boring. If, again, like I said this before, like for multiple years now on different videos, if World of Warcraft Classic released today and was not called World of Warcraft, like just a copy of it, pretty much everything is the same, but it didn't have the Warcraft name, you would be lucky to have 1,000 players on that server. Okay, the only reason people are playing it, so majority of the people who are playing Classic WoW already played it. Either so they are there for nostalgia or comfort. Okay, The people who never played and want to experience it, they want to see what the big deal is because this is one of the biggest MMOs in the world and they want to try an MMO. Also, very easy to get into. It is a fucking easy game. Okay? There's nothing, like, again, like I said, make a new game, call it something else, literally a copy of World of Warcraft, nobody will play it. How come private servers barely have any players? How come you didn't have Classic WoW for like 15 years, okay? 14 to 15 years. You didn't have Classic WoW. And no private server could even get anywhere near the amount of players Classic WoW had. Because you can. Because if it can be the exact same game, but if it doesn't have all those people who are already playing it, new people will never play it.
Endgame in Classic WoW, the farming for pre-raid bis and then raid logging isn't the most evocative or unique feature. Leveling through the enormous uninstanced open world, forming groups to take down elites and brave difficult quests, finding ways to solo bosses, just running through the dense.
The farming groups part is also a fucking joke. It's like, hey, I need to do this. You need to do this? Yes. Okay. Join group, kill it, leave group. You never talk to that guy ever again. Give me a second. Sorry about that. My drugs are ready for pickup. Yes, yeah, let's keep going, man. I don't want to rehash everything. Like, I will never get through this video.
Dense jungles and open plains. That is Classic WoW. The endgame is held together by emergent interactions never intended by the developers and seemingly never acknowledged since. The interpersonal relations of managing 40-odd raiders, the faction collusion, the war effort that saw, in my opinion, one of the best game series ever created around it. Even the collective flight paths to gather meticulously timed world buffs. These are the heartbeat of the game that aren't retained by just...
The reason the Barney thing was good was not because it was WoW, it was because Barney made it good. Okay, the con was, there's this guy who made a video, like a 25-minute lore video about fuck, what was that area called? Near the Torrent area, like right above them, right? And he made like a murder mystery fucking story about it. It's not because it's WoW, it's because the guy made a very good story and WoW was just like the fucking playing field. Okay, WoW itself is not interesting. Yeah, people can make it interesting, but then it's like, but then your point is that it's like, okay, so the game doesn't matter. I know the game doesn't matter because the game itself is fucking boring. Some people can make it interesting, but the game itself is fucking boring.
Improving graphics, adding instanced player housing, and a new class. This survey saw Blizzard double down on things that are neat, I guess, but aren't what actually makes Classic WoW good. With all of that out of the way, we must also acknowledge the lull that Classic is currently in. The anniversary servers are chugging along with the 100-odd thousand players still logging weekly, Season of Discovery has ended, and the modern version of Classic WoW, Jesus Christ, there are so many versions, is entering an expansion that most original players aren't likely to return to. During this lull, people want something, and that something, for whatever reason, is old-school RuneScape. RuneScape and WoW have a combative history with one
I've been over this, I'm not gonna say.
Another. I'm sure older players remember just how competitive and defensive these two groups were. The RuneScape versus World of Warcraft videos on the fledgling website known as YouTube were a not uncommon thing to see. The arguments at a lunch table, the friendships broken or lost, all of it laid a foundation for many experiences in the mid-2000s. And a singular truth was birthed from the din of childhood tribalism. World of Warcraft is better, because it's for people whose parents are generous enough to front $15 a month for a subscription. Meanwhile, RuneScape is the kids game for losers who can only get $5, or none bucks.
I mean, true, but also it is just a better game. As bad as it is, and again, good for 2003, fantastic. Honestly, the best game that in 2003, bar none, for probably 6 years at least, I would say by far, World of Warcraft was the best game on the market for at least until 2010. But it didn't do anything since.
Stuck in the beleaguered free-to-play worlds like jobless middle school peasants. At that point, World of Warcraft was on top of the world. It was reaching its subscriber peak and growing. While RuneScape was undeniably a cultural force, it was always the lesser of the two. Times have kind of changed.
It wasn't the lesser of the two. I think it was less popular than fucking EverQuest at that time. Okay? RuneScape was never even, like, it's not lesser of the two. It's like you're comparing a giant to an ant, and it's like, oh, well, the ant is in second place. Dude, there's way more competitors than just these two, okay?
since then.
Good.
World of Warcraft's popularity, while still at the top, has waned. The game has stagnated, failing to reach a new audience. Meanwhile, RuneScape has died and been rebirthed twice. Old school RuneScape has not only been growing, it has been thriving.
Show the numbers. Show the numbers, bro. Don't show me the graph. Show me the numbers. Because I can guarantee you, if you take the numbers for WoW, right, and you only include the people who treat WoW as a religion, the bar would still be probably like around here. Even probably higher. It would be like around here, right? This is still millions more player than OSRS, okay? It's like, take a graph of Concord. It only has 10 players, right? And it's like stable. It's like, see? It's stable. And it's like when one person joins, the bar just fucking shoots up. Look how popular it is.
Its popularity, while still at the top, has waned. The game has stagnated, failing to reach a new audience. Meanwhile, RuneScape has died and been rebirthed twice. Old school RuneScape has not only been growing, it has been thriving, especially in the past 2 years where the player count has almost doubled. This is thanks to exceptional updates focused
Bro, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? Bro, you can glaze the game as much as you want. You can say how many like cool shit, how much cool shit there is in the game, crafting, all these like unique bosses, whatever. But like, bro, what are you talking about?
focusing on the early and mid-game experience and external community-driven marketing from creators and Jagex alike. Leagues, the limited-time Season of Discovery-esque but way crazier game mode released in late 2024, saw more than 200,000 concurrent players, and now the game is reaching up those figures without the help of leagues at all. For reference, this is more concurrent players than the total individual raid logs in Classic WoW's Anniversary Edition every week. In July, we're seeing the release of the final part of the newest continent, Varlamore, and shortly after that, Old School's first entirely new skill, Sailing, which is expanding the world in ways never before seen in the game.
Shit.
Is that all it takes for the conversion for the WoW player to give it a go? Not entirely. OSRS offers certain similarities in experience that are worth mentioning, like the emphasis on emergent gameplay. Emergence is when unique, surprising interactions arise from engagement.
Yeah, the uniqueness is it offers the same uniqueness as World of Warcraft. It's mostly a solo game where sometimes you interact with other players, but you all live in the same exact world. Wow.
With standard systems in a video game. For example, in WoW Classic, it was the coordination between half a dozen guilds to time their world buff drops for the most amount of players to make sure there are no overlaps. These are methods of interaction never explicitly designed by the developers. They emerge.
No, this is degenerate gameplay. This is degenerate gameplay. You can call it emergent, but you misspelled degenerate when you said it. Okay? Doing this, like this amount of min-maxing in a game that you don't even need to min-max that, is degenerate. I understand if like you really needed it, but this is a degenerate type of gameplay. This is not emergent gameplay. Emergent gameplay is that one priest who was who was mind controlling random people on a boat that was leaving from Booty Bay to Tanaris or whatever. Was it Tanaris? No, it's not going to Tanaris. It's going like near Tanaris, right? Like a bit northern part, right, where the orcs are. Okay, that was emergent gameplay. This guy was just standing there and like mind controlling people and throwing them off of ships. Okay, that's emergent gameplay. Okay, asshole priest standing outside of like raid areas, knowing that this is the raid time for guilds, and going there and AoE debuffing players. That's emergent gameplay. Okay, this is degenerate gameplay.
Emerge thanks to player need and creativity. My favorite emergent system in Classic WoW was learning Dire Maul tribute runs on my Hunter all the way back in 2019. Not only was it a difficult solo challenge, but selling the loot and buffs to different players was a really cool way to earn money. These things don't exist in retail WoW. The game has been meticulously designed to be balanced and competitive. Therefore, any outliers such as this are immediately patched out. There's even a refrain popularized by players calling out this behavior. Fun detected, they say in unison, as Blizzard removes an emergent mechanic that may trivialize something. In OSRS, this happens less. The line between exploit and emergence is thinner.
Yeah, see, this, like, I don't know why they would like fucking remove this. This is actually cool that you could do it. I don't know why they would remove it, but whatever.
It is also encouraged with the existence of the wilderness, a zone where PvP is enabled and upon dying, you drop your loot. If you are not the aggressor or unskulled, you retain 3 of your most expensive items, and if you are skulled, the aggressor, you lose everything. There is a tangible risk-reward in the wilderness that makes it unlike anything else in theme park MMOs. It has singles areas for one-on-ones and multi-combat zones for group fights, fostering a truly sprawling and occasionally terrifying environment. It has its issues, but is ultimately a totally
look at that skillful gameplay. You just have to like the combat doesn't matter. It's all about playing the inventory. I love it. This is exactly why I love PvP in Elden Ring, because it's more about fucking inventory management than it is about the actual fucking battle.
Unique element of RuneScape. The open world PvP during Classic WoW's heyday was kind of similar to this. If you decided to play on a PvP server, it wasn't uncommon to run into roving warbands of bloodthirsty players farming honor points on random people. It created a hide-and-seek leveling experience that definitely got tiresome, but was pretty crazy nonetheless. This system is only begotten to Wilderness in Old School, so it's a bit more manageable there. Of course,
this is exactly actually what killed World v World in World v World. Okay, sorry, this is what killed like World PvP, not World was like fucking Ghost. This is what killed World PvP in WoW, because you would get shit like this, and if you're on the opposite faction, you're like, well, why the fuck am I on the opposite faction? Clearly, these guys are controlling the fucking maps. I might as well be on their faction, and then every PvP server becomes fucking 90-10.
PvP, death is nowhere near as punishing in WoW as you only lose time, but the general ethos of open PvP is worth considering as a point of interest. OSRS has emergence that extends far past PvP too. It wouldn't be far-fetched to suggest that the vast majority of PvE bosses in RuneScape have emergent mechanics defining them, whether it be safe-spotting Dagannoth Kings, butterflying Akka, soloing Cox, and anything in between. Even the skilling in OSRS is often thought of as an emergent experience thanks to tick manipulation being a valid method for a lot of players. It also has an effective blend of communality and solo expression. Some of the most difficult content in OSRS is solo. However, the experience of playing the game itself is a lot more communal. Not in the sense that it demands grouping, that's not the only method of multiplayer communality, just being around others is enough. Because the game isn't linear in its progression, it's a sandbox. No zone is ever out-leveled or outright devalued. You are just as likely to see high-level players in Varrock, the second city most players go to, as you are in the elven city of Prifddinas. Mario. Wow. Not only does this make the game feel more alive, it also creates the emergent experience of seeing someone.
Yeah, so the game itself is just, you are in a world where other players are at. See, this is why people call Warframe an MMORPG, and it's not an MMORPG. Okay, it's reasons like this. What do you like when you think MMORPG? What are you expecting from the game? I'm expecting large-scale battles against fucking dragons or big-ass fucking monsters. Okay? Obviously, in my opinion, Ghost 2 is the closest to it, but the problem is most of them are loot pinatas. Right? To this day, by far, my favorite fight is Dragon's End. By far, I think that is the most, like, MMO fight pretty much anywhere I've seen so far. Right? Like, the whole map is made for that fight. I think that's cool, but even that's like, you keep doing it and it's kind of like becomes just like a grind. Like, it's not a special anymore, right? But when I think about MMORPG, that's what I think. I think about a massive group of players taking down a huge ass boss, right? And they have to split and do multiple objectives to achieve this goal, right? And you always feel like you're in this massive fucking event. Yeah, you don't feel that in OSRS, let's be real. You don't feel it in WoW, realistically, anymore. You used to in 2003. You used to feel it, but like, it's like the way it is given to you has not evolved since 2003. Aside from like maybe Dragon's End, right? The way it is, because it's like before in Classic WoW, it was like fighting Kazakh was like, holy fuck, man, we're going up against this huge fucking demon. That is so cool. Going to like the 4 Elder Dragons, you fighting this huge fucking dragon. That was so fucking cool, right? Yeah, that was 2003. Well, 2004 or 5, whenever they released the patch for that, right? Bro, like, it's been 20 years. There needs to be something more. We need like better AI on the boss NPC, right? We needed to like, like take Ashes of Creation. They have this boss, the dragon boss that they showcased, right? It's like, it needs to start going around destroying towns, right? Let's say you had like a town that you build. I forgot what they're called, nodes, I think. Right? You had like nodes that you build in this area, right? And then it's like this dragon comes and just starts destroying shit, and and it's like he will come from a random location, right? And you need to gather up people. Like this happens at fucking random, right? Maybe it can happen like between certain hours, but it should be random, right? Let's say like uh you have like peak hours 8 to 12 a.m., like 8 p.m. to 12 a.m. In those hours, that's when he will show up, right? And he will target, let's say, 5 nodes. And now, the first node, you're never saving that first node, okay? That's like literally when it starts, and no way are you ready for it, okay? Unless, obviously, you can prepare, but maybe it doesn't happen every day. Maybe it happens like every so often, right? Every few days, right? Like you can randomize it enough to be like, oh, we don't know what the fuck it's actually gonna happen. We're not gonna be here like 3 hours waiting in this group, just waiting for him to show up, and we don't even know which node it's gonna be at, right? But once it attacks one of the nodes, or maybe you can even like detect him before he shows up, like you can see like his shadow flying somewhere, and you're like, okay, we know this pattern. Okay, we gotta go beat the fuck out of him before he destroys this one node. And then it becomes more interesting. You have multiple of these throughout the world, right? Sometimes you're just not gonna save the nodes, and that's okay, right? And then the world is like moving with it, right? That's how the world changes. You don't have shit like that. You have like a stationary fucking boss that you can't even move from his position, and you just a fucking loot pinata. And it's just like, oh, well, look, we brought a group of 60 people and we beat this boss. We're so great. No, that's fucking boring. Okay, no skill involved, no nothing. It's just fucking a loot pinata.
as soon as you zone in, wearing way cooler shit than you are and giving you something to
Wow.
aspire to
Oh my
as a
god.
result. This is of course dead in retail WoW thanks to the overabundance of cosmetic overrides applying inane visuals to anyone, anywhere, making it impossible to
True.
tell if someone is a badass because they cleared a mythic raid or just swiped their credit card or farmed an old piece of content while watching YouTube
No,
videos.
you can tell if somebody swiped their credit card versus like obtain it because the well, actually, no, because I guess the buy and pickup you can also buy the carry. I guess technically, yeah. But yeah, I already had idea of how to fix this, but even that's not like a full fix.
On another monitor. Classic WoW, at least the original version, didn't have cosmetic overrides, so being able to actually see what someone is wearing lent a credible aura of authenticity to the game world and its player base. Everything felt of that world, and the items being worn gained an aesthetic value. They were recognized. The legendary armaments were legendary. That has since faded.
They were only legendary because the information of how to obtain them was not there. If the information of how to obtain them was there, if you had like Wowhead back in the day, with all the information it has on Classic WoW right now, it would not be legendary, it would not be interesting. It would be like, oh, this guy just no life this one thing, or this guy just got super lucky on the drop. Okay. Oh, you kill Sulfurus or whatever, I think, and it's like you get the left wing, like the left one for, oh my god, I don't remember the swords anymore. It's been so long. Windseeker, right? Thunder Fury, Blade of the, yeah, Thunder Fury, whatever, right? I forgot the rest of the name. Blade of the Windseeker, maybe, I don't know. So like, yeah, you figure out how to get Thunder Fury and you go get it within like 4 weeks or so, right? Like obviously a bit of luck, but it's like the guild that you're in designates that you get it and you go and get it. It's really not hard anymore. Nothing is really interesting about Classic WoW because it is pretty much a given you're gonna get it. You know how to get the blacks. The reason the black scabbard was so cool and iconic was because you didn't know you were gonna get it, and it was a timed event. Like the first people to like fucking ring the bell, right? Like dong the dong. That was fucking cool. The first, I can imagine how cool it would be for the first person to get the scabbard without knowing it. Like, oh my god, what did I just get? Got the scabbard. Oh, holy shit, what is this? Right? And everybody's like, oh my god, what is that? I want one too. And it's like, but you can't. That's why it was cool. That is why it was cool. You were the leader who, because usually it would be the guildmaster. You were the leader who led this massive group of people to achieve this one objective. That's why it was cool. Now having the black scabbard means jack shit. Now every fucking other person who is a no-lifer can get it. It's not interesting.
In time thanks to the repeated launches and eventual mastery of all the content, but it did exist at one point. Because it's persistently updated, OSRS never lost that, and while certain gear may be less impressive today than it was in 2015 or 2005, new gear has taken its place.
Wow.
Seeing someone in Sanguine Torva or the newly released Radiant Oathplate armor, especially if they achieve these things on an Iron Man,
so
is incredibly impressive. Just having that communally recognized value promotes more people to seek that recognition. After all, flexing your hard-earned achievements is a core part of existing alongside other people, whether it be in-game or not. World of Warcraft, at least right now, is failing to offer a permanent home for its players, asking them time and time again to recreate the same characters and re-experience the same events.
Bro, I wish Classic WoW Hardcore had these challenges. Goodness gracious, man.
Okay, that's not bad.
These are so
That's
cool.
the last Batwave. I have a decent amount of prayer.
This is exactly what I've been
56
asking
also
for
had a bit of a
forever.
sketchy lore, but not one that I haven't done before.
It's funny, I criticize retail WoW for becoming a fleeting
Wow, I wish WoW had this. Wow, I wish WoW... Man, when did I hear this? Oh yeah, when everyone just went to play Final Fantasy XIV during Shadowlands 9.1.5, okay? Yeah, WoW is lacking a lot of features because they're not focusing on those features. They're focusing on just the fucking treadmill.
seasonal experience that devalues everything you've earned every new patch, but Classic WoW has become that too. With every new incarnation, it resets everyone back to zero and asks them to run that treadmill again. Blizzard is plagued by the disease of seasonality. They seem incapable of creating anything outside of that paradigm because it is the only way to foster continuous engagement in their eyes. Perhaps that's more a fault of the theme park MMO than it is of their own creativity. The Season of Discovery, being seasonal in name, also operated this way. It had incremental level gates, 20, 30, 40, and so on, that acted like miniature expansion releases with a new raid, some new content, and new abilities and other stuff. Blizzard, being tied to this seasonal model, was terrified of making players feel like they need to catch up to their friends, so they caught up for them. Level boosts, experience boosts, and so on. It became so disconnected conceptually from the original Classic, the original vanilla, the experience people
Yes, they created retail inside of Classic WoW because they don't know how to do it any other way. You know what they can do? They can take aspects from Silk Road. Okay, when you're walking around in a group, you're more likely to encounter rare elites. Okay, or just elites. Okay, that would give more experience because you're walking around in a group. Therefore, you're more likely to just group up with people because it's beneficial to you. Okay, because like random monsters will spawn who are like stronger or more interesting. Okay, have more mechanics to deal with maybe. Right, give a challenge to the players. Instead, what you get is like you get a group of like you and 3 or 4 other people. You get one healer and fucking rock and roll, just destroy everything. Okay, just fucking be the Armageddon that you are afraid of. Okay, it's not interesting. And like, there's no sense of camaraderie or whatever. You're just like, yeah, we're just fucking demolishing everything. All right, I gotta go, bye, and like you never talk again. Okay, you never go through any fucking challenge if you do it.
Originally connected with, that it asked them to skip it entirely. Expediting the leveling in Classic is like offering maraschino cherries as the dessert itself. It's like the rosemary being garnished by the steak. It makes absolutely no sense and caters to a demographic of players that exist antithetically to an MMO. The genre is defined by persistent engagement, a world that continues living. But by promoting momentary engagement for incredibly short periods of time, you create artificial—
Look at this intense combat. You know what I'm seeing? All I'm seeing is inventory
engagement, a world that continues living. But by promoting momentary engagement for incredibly short periods of time, you create artificial bursts of popularity and then long lulls where most prospect players don't want to join because it looks dead. But here we are today. Players clearly want some kind of emergent experience in a growing game.
Sorry about that. Go again.
Where most prospect players don't want to join because it looks dead. But here we are today. Players clearly want—
This is why people like don't know.
Players
how to read
don't want to join because it looks—
It looks dead. So why are they joining RuneScape? Even this and this and this and shit, it can be like halfway down to here would have more players than RuneScape. What are you talking about? Oh, it looks dead. Nobody wants to play it. Bro, this is still 2 to 4 million players. RuneScape is at 100,000. What are you talking about? Looks dead. Compared to what?
dead. But here we are today. Players clearly want some kind of emergent experience in a growing game. One of my favorite examples of this was actually in Classic WoW's anniversary servers released only a little while ago. OnlyFans, a content creator-driven guild conceptualized by streamer SodaPoppin. It was a communal experiment, a creator house like you'd see back in 2016, but done in World of Warcraft. It was a persistently running reality television show that tested the mental fortitude of all those involved, because only
No, it didn't. It was just people mooching off fucking subscribers from one another. That's all it was. I am joining this. I have no interest in World of Warcraft, but all these big creators are doing it, and I could get views thanks to that. It's literally like it's free money. And again, nice of Chase on the SodaPoppin from OnlyFans to do this and organize this. And honestly, let's be real. He wanted to play classic WoW, and he wanted to play it with people who can no life it with him. That's all it was. And the trade-off was that those people will get views. That's all it was. Like, let's be real here for a second, okay? He likes WoW, he wants to play WoW, so he's like, how can I play WoW with only streamers? Let's make a stream, like, with people who can no life it with me. Okay, let's make it for only streamers, because all streamers have no lives. So, and then we can get big names to participate in all of this, and then all these smaller streamers who can also like no life it can join us, and then we're definitely gonna have the numbers, right? This is like an easy way to guarantee numbers without having like his like retarded fans joining in and just trying to be like, in fuck, what do you call it? Oh my god, I did not take my caffeine today. Cyber social, no, like the social interaction, parasocial. The parasocial interaction, right? He didn't want to have a parasocial interaction with people in his guild. He just wanted to play with people who have same mindset, that are not going to be fanboys and not gonna be like, he want a more authentic experience. Let's just say it like that. Because if he played with his fans, he knows the fans will just keep giving him shit. Okay? Like keep giving him stuff. And that's not very interesting. Okay, so whatever. And again, good that he did it, but let's be real. Did any of the small streamers become any more popular? No. The only time they became popular is when they were seriously entangled in some controversy. The only reason people know the name Yamato right now is because of his thing with Pirate Software. Other than that, nobody was watching him.
OnlyFans was less so about the game and more so about people interacting with one another through the game.
Who you think? Look at that is insane. Oh my god! Holy shit!
No, P-Bop, you've gotten every single item.
You have gotten one item.
It's good for Warrior. You've gotten every item, bro.
Listen. I'll pass if you come to my stream and rate my physique.
Wait, what? Holy you're shredded, bro.
Was that
Is that a bodysuit? Wait, you're shredded, by the way.
That's like huge.
What's your body fat percentage?
I followed Tyler 1's journey through the guild's rise and eventual dissolution. Tyler 1 is, of course, another streamer, popular for his abrasive and somewhat controversial personality and exceptional League of Legends play, never having...
He's very popular. And again, who'd you follow? Oh, I followed Tyler 1. Really? One of the most popular streamers in the guild? Wow, what a shocker.
Played Classic WoW before, he ventured into OnlyFans with an open mind. OnlyFans was created on the hardcore server, meaning that if you die, you lose your character. And simultaneously, the guild ran alongside a host of add-ons, or in RuneScape terminology, plugins, that created race-driven competitions. Undead, Tauren, Orcs, and Trolls all competed against one another through this external system. There were raffles, battles, arguments, and everything in between. During this process, I watched Tyler 1 learn the game, go from meandering around, keyboard turning, and sometimes forgetting to attack, to running a 40-man raid. His interaction with different content creators, his fabricated drama with SodaPoppin, his insistence to essentially roleplay a rise to power, narrativized the entire experience. It did so well that when he died, it became a legendary moment within the community. While leading a raid into Molten Core, battling
the legendary moment, it was a rage quit moment for him, and all of his community left with him. And after this, pretty much the whole guild fell apart. Not to say that he was the center of the guild, but he was such a big creator that as soon as he quit, it was kind of over. Like, I love Peekaboo, for example. Where is he? I don't even... he's one of the rogues, right? And he, like, died instantly, but I like Peekaboo. I like his personality. Peekaboo is not carrying this. Okay. Pika Fool, I guess that's him. I guess he was a warrior here, but like he's not carrying. Like nobody here can carry it. Okay, Yamato was here, bro. Yamato fell off instantly, right? And Tyler even made a video talking about like how he felt like just like these smaller streamers were just using. He was legit trying to make friends, but he feels like pretty much everyone was just using him for clout. Just fucking sad, but yeah, that's the reality of it, bro. This is the environment you're in. You're in an environment of leeches. Duh.
The fire elemental Baron Geddon, Tyler 1 was faced with a decision. Go for the kill, DPSing down the final few percent and healing through the AoE explosions, or play it safe. Run away. His fatal call was to DPS. Go full hog, as they say, Zug the Zuggler, full send. And his shouts echoed through the voice call, unaware that many had already begun to run. Because when a death means a reset of your progress, it's every man for himself.
Go back in, everybody back in, everybody. I'm death wishing. Big heals. Big heals on me! Big heals on me! I'm death wishing. Big heals on me.
Holy shit.
Let's pop. Big heals on me! Big heals on me! You can't listen! Finish it! Don't run, finish! Finish! Don't run, finish!
Oh my god! No!
The boss fell, but not without the death of many of those brave enough to fight alongside their war chief in his
Well, not really. Pika just fucking ran in out of nowhere, but yeah.
final moments. This felt like the end of the story, and for many it was. It was facilitated by Classic WoW, by the hardcore servers, by the raid itself, but this existed only due to the emergent methods through which these creators decided to approach this
No, because if it was anyone other than Tyler, no one would care about this. Like, again, like, no, like, you don't understand the concept. He's a big creator. That's why it was popular, okay? If Soda Poppin could not get big creators to participate in this, and he could only get small creators, OnlyFans would not go anywhere. It's not about the emergent or whatever. It's about popular people. It's a fucking popularity contest. Just stop pretending, man.
Re-release. Why do I bring this up though? For an OSRS player, it may be obvious. This happens all the fucking time in RuneScape. Not on the same scale as OnlyFans and Soda Poppin's achievement of managing to wrangle in the egos of dozens, if not hundreds, of content creators for months was unlike anything I've ever seen, but in a microcosm, this is RuneScape's most common creator-driven element. The best comparison is Deadman All-Stars, wherein a large OSRS content creator, Solo Mission, teamed up with Jagex by obtaining a custom server wherein 35 of the largest content creators in the game created teams of 5 in a full PvP version of the game.
Wow.
Almost every area became dangerous. In these servers, all 35 creators had expedited experience rates and drops, and a bit over a week of time to gear up for the finale. A King of the Hill style one-on-one deathmatch where they donning the gear they've collected were
Sounds like something made for streamers. Wow.
put to the test against one another. The 10-day period that this event spanned was amongst the most fun in the game's history, as following the individual and group
For who? For who? For the viewer? Or for the streamer? Who is no-lifing this game already and might as well do something different.
wide achievements and battles became so many people's day-to-day habit. The battles fought, the gear lost, the upsets, the strategies, the drama. It felt like a condensed version of OnlyFans buoyed by each creator's personality, loudest of which was Odablock. Odablock is the largest old-school RuneScape streamer. He, much like Tyler 1, is an abrasive, controversial figure with a huge fanbase. He's also one of the best PvPers in the entire game. He was the captain for the Odablock Warriors, and throughout this event, they became, in some ways,
Man,
the
look at
focal
him.
point,
Look
the
at
core.
Look at that fast inventory movement. Now that's real skill right there. Not discounting it. Like, yeah, this requires some fucking muscle memory and shit like that. But to expect this to be the gameplay to look forward to from somebody who doesn't play this game, it's like, oh, this is peak gameplay right here. Look at it. Look at how skillful it is, bro. Are you fucking kidding me? This is the gameplay? Fucking inventory management during combat? Are you fucking kidding me?
Or narrative. In the draft, Odablock recruited what was considered to be the strongest set of PvPers. They were the only ones
And again,
capable.
I'm not saying that it's like he is not skillful. I have nothing against him. I'm saying this looks extremely boring, extremely not interesting for a person who never played this game. That's what it looks like. Okay? I don't want to shit on RuneScape. I think if you enjoy it, good for you. But it looks, if you're not playing it, it looks fucking boring. And no matter how many streamers you're gonna get into it because they're bored of World of Warcraft, this is not appealing. Okay, this is what this game is not gonna be over 300,000, which is like was its all-time peak. I believe 350 was its all-time peak.
Of defeating the solo mission snakes, a team labeled as this season's villains. This was because they had a rather toxic player that received a yellow card for potentially stream sniping. This was made worse by this player's previous history of less than honorable behavior, to put it simply. On top of this, many felt as though the snakes didn't have a particularly fun way of playing, as they locked down a specific area of the game and farmed it, all the while taking on group fights to snowball their growing advantage. On the day of the finale, tensions
Sounds smart, but you do make an enemy out of everyone.
were high. Odablock broke over 100,000 concurrent viewers, and simultaneously the Old School and RuneScape streams had a collective concurrent viewership of over 150,000. To say that this event gained traction would be an understatement. As the Warriors began their first fight, it wasn't looking good. Good players fell early, and in this King of the Hill style system, the person who defeated the other remained in battle, granting the opposing team the ability to snowball an advantage. The cards did not look to be in the Warriors' favor, but Odablock himself hadn't yet stepped in the ring. As the bell rung and his character moved in, he disconnected. His entire home was DDoSed, and the competition, for a brief moment, was put on hold.
Of the Warriors, what can he do to claw this fight back?
Come on, you are Odablock. Play like Odablock.
No, I think this is actually a tactical decision. With
Really?
his sigils, yeah. He's got the sigil of the
Interesting.
Meticulous Maid, so he's got that extra 40 accuracy bonus. So he can afford to sit in this tanky Verak skirt for some of the freezes.
That's
when
me
he
told.
knows.
Was it like instantly or after a little bit?
Somebody did ask me, bro. It has to be because I didn't even start yet. I didn't even start yet. As soon as I crossed the border, I DC'd. Wow, that's so fucking cringe. I don't know what to do. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what to do because the phone, the hotspot just can't. It can't hold it. It can't hold.
Are you able to change house? People are spamming. I'm not sure if that's viable. Like, how long would it take you? If that could happen, how long would that take you?
I could try it. Yeah, I mean, maybe like 5 minutes. I could just run to a different house.
He rushed over to a friend's home, mouse and keyboard in hand, in an effort to continue the fight. However, it just wasn't the same.
So fucking intense, bro. Wow, I'm so fucking intense.
It is one thing to play on a friend's setup, and that alone doesn't feel great. But to do so in such a high-stakes, high-skill competition, it's borderline impossible. While he performed admirably, his
Bro, you guys are talking about this like it's fucking Mortal Kombat fucking World Championship.
clicks were noticeable. The precision needed to play old school RuneScape well is beyond any other MMO. So even
No, you didn't just fucking say that, bro. Oh my god, bro. The precision needed to play OSRS well is beyond any other MMO. Oh my god. Yes, you don't just lose 30% of your DPS if you mess up your rotation in Final Fantasy, okay? You don't just lose 50% of DPS if you mess up like one fucking button, like use your cooldown in the wrong time in World of Warcraft, right? No, you don't just fucking insta-die in World v World in fucking, what do you call it? In Guild Wars 2 if you mistimed the dodge, if you wasted a dodge, if you didn't consider the enemy's cooldown, if you didn't understand what weapon the enemy was using, right? Like what kind of build he's using. Bro, get the fuck out of here. So much, so high skill. Like, fuck off. Oh my god.
a small change in setup create massive gaps in performance. Ultimately, the Warriors performed well, but they did not win. Their matches were the most watched, and in many ways, after their elimination, that story concluded. I bring up these two somewhat similar examples to showcase an overlap, a way to engage with a game that sometimes doesn't put the game first. This engagement uses it to uplift something else entirely, a community-driven event, a creator-designed story, a personally aspired to goal.
This wasn't a community-driven event, bro. This was the owners wanting to fucking advertise their game. Get the fuck out of here, man. Oh my god.
The overlap between old school RuneScape and WoW Classic isn't systemic. These games aren't similar. As SodaPoppin said while watching some OSRS videos, RuneScape is the bane for WoW players. It utilizes an entirely different skill set that doesn't translate. You'd think that would be a point of aversion, yet it isn't, because the point of connection is far more important for a lot of people. WoW players might be looking for something more permanent as they currently linger in the seasonal.
Dude, you really think WoW players are staying in RuneScape? Oh my god, bro. I've heard of coping, but man, I've never experienced it on such a high level.
Lull, a period between when their progress finished and when they must start it all again. A point of reflection that surely has some ask, why do I want to do it all again? To summarize, the lull that World of Warcraft is in currently, as every version of the game is between releases, has made its most prolific content creators branch out. This may not be a permanent investment, but it surely is interesting to see. These two old titans of the industry are still rubbing
You can't call RuneScape a titan of the industry with 100,000 players, bro. You can't. It's not even top 5 anymore. What are you talking about, bro? World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy 14, Guild Wars 2, Elden, what do you call it? Elder Scrolls Online, and BDO all have more players than old school RuneScape. How are you considered a Titan when you can't even beat one of these 5? Like, fuck off, man. Titan of the fucking industry. I'll grant that it was a long, like, it lasted long enough. Yeah, I'll grant it that it's like persistent, sure. And I'm sure the company is also like, what do you call it? Profitable enough. But bro, calling a Titan
shoulders, but the
has this company, Jagex, I think is the name of the company. I don't know if it's a name of a person or the company. Has this company produced anything other than old school RuneScape? Well, the RuneScape 3 or whatever, that wasn't very popular. Every RuneScape aside from old school RuneScape that wasn't very popular. Okay? Even like this new third person RPG or MMORPGs they're releasing is not very popular. Okay, let's be real here for a second. This is not a titan of the industry. This is a participant of the industry.
The balance of power might have started to change. If there's ever a time to visit old school RuneScape, it's now, on the cusp of its largest update. The benefit of it being a curated sandbox is that each edition is additive. The game has only become larger with time. It doesn't cannibalize itself with seasonal content. That alone could be something interesting to players that have become so accustomed to being cannibalized. I was one of them after.
Yeah, the more I hear about this game, the more I want to play Guild Wars 2, honestly, because everything he's saying here is in Guild Wars 2 anyways, right? And I haven't played Guild Wars 2 in like a year almost. It's like, bro, you're not unique. Like, there's nothing interesting about it. You're an inventory management combat system. I might as well play Idle Tower Defense.
After all, tired of spending months earning what became cosmetic overrides devalued by a glut of cosmetic overrides, WoW felt like it was shrinking, not in player base per se, but as a world. With every addition, with every update, the amount of land expands, but the relevant content only inhabits a smaller and smaller fraction of it. It was refreshing to step into a world as persistent as my kitchen and the roof over my head. The long-form nature of old school RuneScape's progression incentivized me to pursue the grind, rather than recoil from it, because I knew that every time I inched closer to my goal, that goal wouldn't leap ahead by miles every half year. It would remain, and a new goal would be added somewhere between or somewhere after. Retail doesn't offer a home, even when the developers are hard at work on the player-owned housing system, because retail is as acommunal as possible. There is almost no emergence within its body because the intent of the game has disconnected entirely from its roots as an MMORPG. There is no core leveling experience, no overworld organization, no coordination needed for anything that isn't small group instanced content. It's a game split down the middle, a single-player lonely adventure through a barren overworld, flitting between checklist slop and the next instance dungeon, and the instance dungeon itself. For those that love this about retail, the ability to hop into a game and in a weekend find yourself caught up to everyone else, that's perfect, and likely why most would feel alienated by RuneScape.
Which is really sad, but it is really sad that that is the most popular MMORPG in my opinion. It's because you know that, like, even if you quit, it's like, one thing is like, you can quit and when you come back, you'll be able to catch up really fast, so that it's like, it's fine to quit. But on the other hand, it's like, why are you putting in the effort when you know that you'll be able to catch up in a week? Like, why am I grinding right now for like these 3 months where like next patch comes in, there's gonna be a catch-up system, and within 2 weeks I'm exactly where I am? Like, why am I spending 3 months to get to this point, right? So like, it's a positive and a negative at the same time.
On the other hand, Classic WoW offers a bountiful leveling experience. The heights of OnlyFangs were never the raids, they were the journey to get to them. The leveling of Classic is, for those who do it, amongst the best gaming experiences because it effortlessly mixes flow state calm with heart-pumping danger, especially on hardcore servers.
Heart-pumping danger, bro. It's not heart-pumping. All it is like, you know when you fucked up, you can have like 75% of your HP and you're like, I'm so fucked. It's not heart-pumping anymore. There's like, you know, you're either dead or you're not dead. There's nothing like, it's like, you know, you're fucked. It's not heart pumping. Heart pumping is like when there's a possibility of fucking making it out, whatever. Now, if you're a hunter or a rogue, whatever, maybe sometimes, even druid sometimes, but it's like, if you're a warrior and you know you fucked up, you're fucked up. Like, you're fucked. Like, it's over. Okay, if you're a paladin, if you don't have bubble heart, you fucked up. Okay. It's like for most of them, you kind of know it's like it's over. Yeah, it's over.
Old school
Hard
RuneScape
bumping,
is something
bro.
different. It is a game on a separate path.
Oh,
Matt Season is a
God.
classic WoW content creator who has cataloged his journey into old school RuneScape without guides, and for those who have watched his videos have surely seen, Matt Season is pulling from game knowledge outside of his classic World of Warcraft pool because the skill set he obtained through WoW has not translated. But the appeal of slowly, often arduously moving through the world.
No offense, but Matt Season fell off ever since he stopped doing WoW. However, I can't blame him that he stopped doing WoW because there's only so much you can do about WoW. Like realistically, and he started with like doing lore videos of like throughout the expansions. Then he quit retail, started doing classics, so he fell off a bit more. Like he was growing while he was going with retail. Then he started doing classic, and he started falling off a bit. Like not right away because classic became like really popular when just released, but it's like because he stayed in classic, kind of fell off. Okay, and then he went to RuneScape, bro. I believe I'm still subscribed to him. Okay, on YouTube, and I used to watch his videos all the time. I haven't gotten any notification about his videos in forever, and I actually wonder. Mad Season Show. Okay, when was the last time he made video? Bro, he makes videos constantly. I haven't gotten anything. I guess I'm not subscribed anymore. I mean, honestly, I don't need to subscribe anymore. He's making OSRS videos. But like I used to watch his videos all the time. It's like I just didn't get his notifications anymore. But anyways, yeah. And okay, and also like this is the last one I want to make. Like this is, bro, I can't disagree more with this video in so many aspects. But I can relate to the glazing of the current game you're playing and how good you feel about playing it. Right? I can understand the glazing. I just think it's pure glazing with no substance. Anyway, so this is what I was talking about earlier with like how OSRS is actually just like a single player game where you're in a world with other people. Right? This is 4 months ago. I personally feel like the player base shoots itself in the foot with gear KC requirements and the general elitism. Oh, look at that. Look at that. You know which MMORPG practically has no elitism, I guess, and gear requirements? Guild Wars 2. I know there are great places to learn things and improve, but generally I do. Also, by the way, if you consider an MMO, Warframe also doesn't. Technically, right? Like nobody cares about your damage or whatever, like how useful you are, because it's like most of the time you can carry yourself and that's fine. And if somebody's shit, then whatever, you just carry him too. Like it's not a big deal. But anyways, this title, how easy do you find it to get a group together to tackle a piece of content, bosses, minigames, etc.? Nearly impossible. Where's like easy? Easy. Okay, easy is like 1, 2, 3 is 4th place. Okay, out of 5 because results doesn't even count. Okay. Thank you for those who have taken time. For bosses, okay, here we go. For bosses, it would be difficult for most players. For other non-PVM activities like minigames, I would say nearly impossible. So basically, if you're not doing a specific group content, it is practically impossible. And if you're doing a specific group content, it would be very difficult. Nice. And again, obviously, this is Reddit. You know, who knows if what they say is true. But like, bro, this game, I'm sorry. I'm happy for you that your favorite game is getting publicity, but it's not going anywhere. It's not going to be top of the charts. Most people look at it, are not going to play it. It looks like ass. It plays like ass. It's an inventory management. And the average player on this is the same as the average player for WoW. Okay, middle-aged, mid-30s to mid-40s players. Okay, and they're playing it because it's comfortable and their skill set adjusted to it, and that's that. Okay, it's comfortable, it's familiar, it's something they come home from like the 3 wives, then several children. They sit down, they don't have to learn anything, and they can just relax and play, and that is fine. This game, however, is dog shit. Okay, in terms of it being like an interactive, fun activity for somebody who never played it, it is dog shit. Okay, it is inventory management, and you just watch a fighting simulation in fucking the worst graphics you can even imagine. Okay, it's not going anywhere, but it's a good video. I'll give it a like.